Hello, Factorio people. Welcome back to Factorio Overexplained. You join me just as I have started to put down instructions for an extra column of grids. No, whoa, 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 whoa. An extra column of grids here, which is going to overlap the starter base. And as such, the starter base needs to go away. Which means all of these pylons can disappear very slowly. And as they place them down, we'll see the Roboport network expand. There we go, and then more instructions will then reach, and we can just demolish the whole thing. So we'll let them do that. A couple of other things. I neglected to mention with the Factorio mod that it changes the stack size of certain items like landfill especially. Why am I carrying all of these? Changes the stack size of things like landfill and bricks to be 500. So there was a little buffer I made for bricks here, which I have changed slightly. I don't think I explained how these buffers work, so this one I've turned off, but let me just imagine that it was on. Oh god. So yeah, you can see here that the... Excuse me? This is a good start. There we go. These used to stack to like 100, possibly, and so I wanted to make sure that there was some bricks in the logistics network for building more grid squares like this. And then I installed Factorio and the capacity went up to 500 per stack, so there's like 20,000 bricks just here, which is too much. But so the way these buffers work is the bricks come up the belt, they go into this box, and then if there's space on this belt, then they'll just leave the box straight away. So if it's needed on the bus, you'll always get them on the bus, because all this is doing is just hopping them over. It's like, it takes longer, obviously, but you're still moving them up the bus. If the bus is full, then these chests load, but they don't empty, so then you get a buffer of stone bricks. And now that they stack to 500, I don't need... I mean, I don't need this buffer at all now, because the bricks are here in the passive provider chest. And again, that's now 5,000. So in an ideal world, I'll just get rid of these entirely, in fact. But that's going to take a long time. They're coming all the way over here for some reason to make the concrete, because now I am telling it to make the concrete because it's prioritising the yellow chests over the red chests. So I suppose I could change these to be reds as well. Yeah. Anyway, that's a problem for later. I did exactly the same thing with a small little solar power build here. Same principle. Some accumulators, some solar panels. 60 per minute each, that's 1 per second, fact fans. And if there's space on the bus for them, they'll go on the bus. If not, they'll store these chests, and that's because I want to be able to put more solar power here. Power is, you know, it's a problem. The accumulators are discharging, whoops, even during the day. The steam turbines are going full tilt. Down here. Sorry, no, down here. It is what it is. And you want solar power, you want solar panels and accumulators on the bus because they're necessary for rocket launches. How has this happened? This one is not quite in the right place. I moved it ever so slightly, didn't I, to get this fiasco sorted. Yeah, it's fine. I will deal with it. My main concern currently with the base is petroleum. A lot of sulfur is being used. It's almost sorted, but it's because batteries were in high demand for a little while to make these bits of the modular armour, which I'm going to be using later when I get Spidertrons, so at least that's done now. And obviously I expanded my own modular armour. 6 personal Roboport Mark IIs for a total of 150 robots, even though I only have 100 on me. I should probably fix that. And I'll... oops. Middle mouse, please. My middle mouse is broken. It just broke for you right there on camera. You saw it, you all saw it. Bizarre. I can hold 150 robots now. Some exoskeletons, which just increases my movement speed. 2 portable fusion reactors, which are better than solar power, as we discussed last time, for the space, and they don't need any fuel. They just work constantly. 9 personal batteries for a total of 900 megajoules. And a belt immunity equipment, as of course. So let me go and get 50 more robots, and we'll start. We'll start today's projects, which are going to be... what are they going to be? I did have a plan, and I've forgotten. Let me just take some drink of tea here while I get my construction robots to do some work. Rocket fuel, that was it, rocket fuel. And then once we've got rocket fuel, we can also start doing trains fed, train fuel fed through the logistics network, which would be quite helpful. Quite cool, 150 max robots, sorted. Oh, I also had to put iron ore on the bus, of course, for concrete. Concrete is... it's very important, but it's also not important. It's kind of in this weird spot where you need a lot of it in small bursts, and then you never really need to touch it for a long time. Like, concrete goes into centrifuge, which I've not spoke about at all, because I've not done any nuclear processing at all in this playthrough. Somehow I've managed to avoid it. 100 concrete in a centrifuge, 500 concrete in a nuclear reactor, 500 concrete in the rocket silo. In the rocket silo. I haven't researched it, that's why. In the rocket silo. 1,000, sorry, 1,000, good lord. And then after that, you kind of, you know, you don't really need it. Alright, let's kick the research off as well. I'm pretty sure kicking the research off is going to be an absolute drain on the entire factory, but I did double up steel. I can't remember if I did that for the last episode or not. It's a bit of a mess, but I did actually double it up. It's still less than 1 red belt, because steel is ridiculously... It's 8/10, 4/5 of a red belt, and then some of the excess iron goes along the bus into the mall to make concrete. Oh, and the water fill. Water fill is here at long last. Hooray! And I tidied up a few things. I know that's a lot of stuff off camera to do, but it wasn't anything that like needed over-explaining. It was just things to tidy up. Okay. How do you make rocket fuel? It's solid fuel and light oil. You may remember when we talked about oil processing, advanced oil processing, and the most efficient way to make solid fuel is light oil. Anyway, solid fuel from petroleum, you get 1 for 20 petroleum, but you can turn... but 10 oil turns into 1 solid fuel, and 10 light oil is less than 20 petroleum, you would get less petroleum for that light oil, and the same with heavy oil. So you can turn heavy oil into light oil, 40 heavy oil into 30 light oil, so 40 heavy oil would only make 2 solid fuel, 20 per one, whereas the 30 light oil you get out of that will make 3 solid fuel, so it's already better to do light oil over heavy oil for sure, but then it's not then more efficient to turn the petroleum into the light oil into petroleum to turn that into solid fuel, because 20 petroleum turns into 1 solid fuel, but it takes 30 light oil to make that 20 petroleum. So it's always best to use light oil for solid fuel, always. Rocket control units, done. Let's not do any research that is completely irrelevant, because... There we go, rocket silo. Because, as I say, I'm sure that things aren't quite scaled enough here. There are some issues. I could fix these issues by, you may notice here in the mall that I turned everything into assembly machine Mark IIIs. Why is my Discord open? That's a good one. Discord should not be open. Let me see if I can just quickly fix that without too much showing off of things. There we go. Sorry about that. I turned everything in the mall into assembly machine Mark IIIs just to speed build processes up. Most of the stuff going on here is still just making gear wheels for belts. I'm not going to upgrade to blue belts anytime soon. I think I'm going to at least launch the rocket before that happens. I could gain some... I could make some gains by turning certain portions of builds into assembly machine Mark IIIs. And I will do that where I see an issue. Red circuits are currently fine though, for example. Green circuits, 4 belts. Could one side support assembly machine Mark IIIs? Probably not. But assembly machine Mark IIIs, they have more module slots and they run at 1.25 crafting speed as opposed to 0.75, so they are, of course, strictly better. Okay. Solid fuel and light oil into rocket fuel. It's quite handy because, of course, the rocket fuel needs solid fuel and some light oil anyway, so you can do some cool stuff like this, where your light oil goes through the middle of builds, and then you just move the fuel over. One chemical plant making solid fuel is almost to scale. It's almost to scale for one assembly machine Mark III to make rocket fuel. And this uses 325 light oil per minute. My issue with this is that if suddenly all of the light oil is leaving these, because as we know, the heavy oil goes into the light oil, and then the light oil, if this is empty, if this is full, then the light oil then moves on to be turned into petroleum. If we're suddenly using a lot of light oil here, and this is not empty, then this petroleum production falls down, and as you can see here, oops, UI, please. As we can see here, these petroleum gas tanks are already emptying out, and I think that's mostly because sulfur is being used quite a lot. 7,200 a minute of petroleum is being turned into sulfur, because a lot of sulfur is going into sulfuric acid, because I'm using a lot of sulfuric acid on batteries, as I just discussed. But I do believe that is balancing out. The consumption just jumped up for a moment. 4.5 thousand over the last 10 minutes. Been using 4.5, producing 4.5 thousand sulfuric acid, but only using 4.3 thousand. So these tanks are going to slowly fill up, and then in that case the petroleum should start backing up as well. Maybe. I'm not confident, to be honest with you. I am not confident. This is going to be an issue, and I'm going to have to do something about scaling this up. What I might be able to do is I might be able to turn some coal into petroleum with the coal liquefaction, and I might do that just because it will also be an entire episode, because it's quite complicated. I could turn this into just petroleum. I could take pure coal and turn it into petroleum with a bit of steam without too many issues. But for now, enough waffling on. Let's do this, shall we? So if we do this, like this, all we need is light oil to come up here, and that is fed. That is done. Question is how much of this do we want? That is a good question. It's very slow, 2.5 per minute. It's not a lot, but it is going to use 325 light oil per minute, and as I said before, we are getting just from processing crude oil 6,400. Why are there no trains here? Crude oil is fine. It's not a problem getting the crude oil in. It's probably that these have started slowing down quite a lot. 7,600 per minute and 14,000 per minute. So this takes about 3.5 minutes to fill the train, whereas this one takes a lot longer to fill the whole train. Each of the wagons are 25,000, sorry. So, you know, but there is a very, whoops, where did it go? There is a very, very large buffer here, and these are seemingly okay. So, and here it comes now, in fact. Alright. I wish I could remember how much of this I'm going to need. I should have maybe done that first. I could do all of the assembly machines to change the science. Actually, that might be one to try and do. But science production is fine on its own. I have white science researched, right? I need 50 rocket fuel in the satellite as well. I was aiming for about... What was I aiming for? Can't remember. 90 per minute, but then an extra 50% on top of that. 135 per minute. So that's one rocket launch every, like, 8 minutes. I don't know. I'll just build some. And then I'll do the math off camera. Thankfully, it is quite a simple build. There's just a lot of stuff to think about ahead of time. And that is mostly your light oil production. And we're not going to be able to flip it because you can't flip blueprints with chemical plants, but I will cheat and do this. This is the build. Like, this works. This is perfectly fine. It's slightly overscaled on the solid fuel side of things. Ever so slightly, but not enough to really worry about it. And then it's just a case of how do you power it. You can fit power poles in these little gaps here. And that's it, that's the build. Actually don't need that one, in retrospect. That's totally fine. Missed. I missed on both of those, in fact. What's that? 8. 10. 25 rocket fuel per minute. You need to put 1,000 into a rocket. It's less than 1,000 because you're using productivity modules on rockets all the time. So 40% productivity. Is it 40% productivity? And then I don't know. I'm making it up at this point. I feel like 10's not enough. especially because we're also overscaled on. We're doing a lot more science than is possibly a good idea for a module beaconless build. Let's go with... Oh, I feel like even doubling this is not going to be enough. It's so much light oil though, I'm very concerned about this. Space science packs, please. Let's take this out and maybe... I can't flip it because the stupid thing. I'm not going to squeeze it in there without moving this roboport. Do I want to build it in the middle instead, just to have enough space? The only other thing I need now is rocket control units, which I will also endeavour to do in this episode, because they are also not too complicated, and then that's fine. So I guess I will put it here if it's a big build. If it's going to end up being a big build, then... No, I've changed my mind again. I'm just going to get rid of this construction, this logistics port, and put some more back in. Right, I can't flip it, but because it is... I'll just rotate it, and then the belts will need some tweaking, but... You may notice that I'm not too fussed about whether I have the stuff on me, because I know that all of this stuff is in the mall, so anything I don't have on me to build, the construction robots will come and deal with it. Isn't that grand? The only problem with rotating it is that my power poles are not in the right place, and they also don't reach each other by one tile, which is frustrating to say the least, but we'll just have to tie that up at some point. Right, that should be 20 of these. 6,500 light oil a minute. Gross. You know what, I'm going to double it again. Good job, robots. Good job. You're doing it. 20 science labs. Here they come. Here it all comes. Ah, the benefit. I love having a logistics hub. I love it. Look at it. Don't have to do anything now. They've all gone for a break. I didn't allow this. Come on. I don't want to get all Jeffrey Bezos about it with you, but do your flipping job, yeah? That was not the best place for that. I tried to just be cheeky and put it near the pylon, but if I'm gonna need to cover this space down here, then I'm gonna need one here and one there as well, and then they're also gonna need power, but that is okay because that will then power that side. I'm stuck. We got okay. Oh, the flipping inserters don't reach. Alright, new plan. New plan. Give me a deconstruction planner for small power, medium power poles, and I'll do it a different way. Is the substation in the middle going to reach everything? Yes. Okay, we'll do it that way then. Should just have done it that way in the first place, but whatever. Whoops. Thank you. I never, I still have yet, if you watched the last episode, I still have yet to make a decision on buying a new computer or not. Well, these could technically go this far, I suppose, to make the most out of the undergrounds. I'm currently leaning towards not. Currently leaning towards not buying a new computer, because GPU prices are disgusting, and it would only be to play Halo, and the more I play Halo, the less I'm thinking that I really need to worry about playing Halo at such a high fidelity. Seems to be working okay. I get a crash every now and then, but... Alright, I'm just going to link up these two sections of the light oil with a pump, and we'll hook this bad boy up, shall we? Whoops. Good one. Look at me, I can't even use the flipping Factorio UI, and you're telling me I'm going around getting headshots in Halo. That is true, and I can't explain it to you exactly how I am capable of that, but it does happen. Okay, as soon as we get this delivered, we should start seeing some activity. Did you see the light? Oh, I'll take its time to come all the way around because it will go into the into the factories as it goes around, and then as it overflowed. So the last one, I mean, it only needs 10 light oil, sorry, in 30 seconds. So pressure, I'm not worried about having the pumps be pressurized too much. It's more than enough. Why did I do the lights like this? I was trying to make use of this negative space I'd created for myself. It was not worth the effort. Everything is working, is it not? Seems to be. Oh, we're going to run out of power any minute now. Any minute now we're going to run out of power. Okay, I said I was going to do rocket control units, but I'm not. I'm going to do some other things here. I'm going to put the solar grid down, which means I have to remove these. What I'll do first is I'll do a deconstruction planner for trees and rocks, just to make it a bit easier to manage exactly what's going on. Turn the logistics network on and click and drag from the edge of what is the new current thing. That's a lot of wood. And then also, I don't know why cliffs aren't included in that. Adding Factorio has made this UI look a bit more clunky because it's added each individual tree currently in the game and each individual rock to the environment tab, because Factorio does allow you to place trees as well. But anyway, so now I have to go in and do exactly the same with cliffs. 138 cliff explosives. We do make cliff explosives, so that's fine. What has that done to light oil already? So you can see now these are just not working at all, because all of the light oil is now going straight out. This one can go, don't need this anymore. Oh, I didn't put water fill for these things. It's fine, don't care. Fluids. Light oil. We make about 8,500 generally, and we're using 13,000, so that is definitely a problem. It won't be a problem for long, because this is going to back up, because I obviously won't be using any. This makes 100 rocket fuel per minute. That seems like a nice round number. You love to see it. Alright, and then we'll put the solar grid down, because solar is... Oh, it's daytime now, so the accumulators are just about recharging. This is, to be honest, ideal. The fact that you get all of the value out of your accumulators overnight. But at the same time, a bit too close for comfort. So the downside of this design is that these pylons have to go, and if you remove the pylons, then you run the risk of these roboports discharging. Down here they have an internal battery, but you run the risk of them discharging and then things not getting done. But the range of this one should be enough to cover that. I don't... so what I now have to do is The way around this is, of course, just putting the solar grid down straight away. But I didn't want to. I can't really do that because I've also got to deal with removing all of this stuff first. So what I really should be doing is now making a specific deconstruction planner and not destroying roboports. Pylons is going to be annoying because there are pylons that exist outside of the grid system here. Ah, it's a mess. But I'll fix that later. Ignore roboports, pylons. That's it, right? Oh, and radars. Ignore radars. Okay, and destroy everything else. I've clicked this the wrong way around. There we go. So you can see here that... Oh, it's destroying this belt. I won't destroy that belt for now. Just for now. Not destroying anything, but then as we come down here, it is destroying the base. Alright, rip starter base. You did it, but you know, you're has-been. That is going to take a lot of construction robots because it's going to have to move everything off of belts and everything in chests that is built up. .601 entities missing construction robots. I don't think that's true. I think they're just taking their time. No, that is true. If you look down here, construction robots, 0 out of 2,677. Every single robot is doing something. Right, that means that we have an excuse now. Why are red circuits empty? Because plastic's empty. Because fluid ingredient shortage. Because petroleum finally ran out. Petroleum is over, people. I knew this was going to be a problem. I flippin' knew it. Crude oil is still okay. It's just okay. Like, I could just double this up. It's dealing with all the pipes. I really don't want to do that right now. Like, I really don't. But, you know, whatever. If red circuits are down, then so be it. Alright, we've got an excuse to up the number of construction robots in the network. So I don't know if you remember, but we set up a rule here for this inserter to only insert fresh construction robots in if there were less than 2,500 in the network. So we've fixed that now. So let's go up to a nice neat 4,000. Hello? Oh, it's because this one's full of logistics robots. I wish there were a way to tell this one to only be construction robots. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take all of these out and just put them in a different roboport. Because they kind of just sat around doing nothing. I've got too many logistics robots here. What I'd like is I'd like for this to only be logistics robots in here. But there's no way to do that. Electricity has died. All of the robots having to charge their electricity has caused a problem. Oh my god, it's pure chaos. Everything has gone wrong. Alright, petroleum will get backed up again once this is done. But obviously once we start launching rockets, this is going to be a huge issue. Hopefully, with a bit of luck, I've overscaled this. Science. No. Alright, let me also put these solar grids down now that I can. Big electric pole is in the way, I know. Oh god, what was that? Okay, fine. We'll have it your way then. Get rid of these. No, all of the accumulators have discharged. I might just go and take the stuff and do it myself. If all of the construction robots are busy, then that job is not going to get done. And if there's no electricity, then those robots are now not going to go and charge themselves. Give me half of this box and half of this box. That should be enough to be getting on with I have 166 construction robots on me. Oh, it's because I destroyed a roboport, didn't I? There we go. I'm one short now, but whatever. So you can see that the construction robots is increasing. It's not refreshing now because when I do my telestration it pauses, but the construction robot count is increasing as we insert more, but then they're being used straight away, which is fine. I knew this was going to be a big job. I didn't quite expect all of my power to be used. It's coming back now, slowly. We must have just been in the night time there. Where is this job? It's up here. I'll do it myself. I don't recommend doing this yourself, but sometimes needs must. Plus it would be nice to see the full gamut of construction robots doing their job. Nice. No, I got built into a corner. I specifically requested the opposite of this. How long will this last? So you can see this roboport is already out of battery. There they go, they're very slowly running out of electricity now as they charge more robots. Oh, that one just about came back. They're just recharging now, so it's okay. It's obviously not going to last forever. It's never going to last forever. What's going on here? Is this pylon in the wrong place? Better not be a problem with my blueprint. I'd be livid. There is a mod that does power comb. It's called power comb. It puts all of your power poles in nice, all of the wires in nice straight lines for you. Again, I've never found the need for it. I just build it properly the first time. Lol. Okay. So give me another deconstruction planner for just pylons. And then we'll get rid of these four, these 6, which is at least, that's relevant because there are pylons hanging around in there. And do me some more solar grids here. Now this should snap to the grid now. Do I not have this on grid snapping? No, that would help. That would certainly help. Relative, and it's 100 by 100, and it needs to go there. Is that the middle? Yes. Yes, that is correct. Why did that one not work? God knows. I don't understand this game at all. If you're watching the wrong YouTuber, to be honest with you. Banter. Alright, that will solve this problem. Let me show you, while we have some rocket fuel, how you can use rocket fuel to sort your train fueling out automatically. Because that is, of course, very helpful. Construction robots are still busy. 0 available out of 3,440 now. I said it was going to be a big job. It's mostly the mall, isn't it? It's mostly, 150 power poles here and got 336 pylons here and all of the belts and stuff. So what you can do is take a blue chest from somewhere here. I should just have... You don't have to copy and paste like that. Like, it's kind of annoying that there's no way to... If you haven't got a blue chest on you, you need to then find one to copy. Or you can go in here and do this and select a blue chest, and though you haven't got any, then it does put a ghost one down. It would be nice if there was a way to do that just like from here. Like if I shift clicked it in some way, or alt clicked it in some way, that it picked up a ghost one from this. It's not the end of the world, of course. So we'll just wait for... I mean, I'm going to need a construction robot to come and do this, aren't I? It might just be easier to make sure I always have some on me. In fact, that probably is the answer. Because I'll get them quicker from the logistics robots at this point. Give me 50 of those and 50 of those at all times, please. And the logistics robots will come and sort me out, at least with that. I'll meet them in the middle. How are green circuits doing? Fine. There is a 100% better way to have done this, just for the record. Just doing it like this to show you the first time. Because, in fact, I can just get rid of this instruction and show you it like that. Right, so it doesn't really matter where you are on the map then, as long as... So you tell this, I want some rocket fuel, please. 10 should be more than enough. They only stack to 10, so you'll only get 30 in a train. And then obviously with your inserter, you copy this instruction and you just put it anywhere that there is a train that needs fueling. I mean, it really is as simple as that. I'm not a huge fan of this one because doing it here because these are going to have to move, but it's also so easy. There and there. This one gets fueled by coal itself on its way, so this can go. This is a double-headed train as well, so I need to make sure I have another one here. This. This one as well. This is all very well timed. You can see all of these chests are totally empty. Because I was running around putting solid fuel in them when I had a spare moment. Crude oil as well, thank you. And stone. The stone train. Get rid of the old setup. Okay, so then now all we need is we just need a little buffer up here for the rocket fuel. So that the logistics robots actually have somewhere to... Where are you all going? Oh, of course, you're picking up all of the stuff. Look at them go. It's beautiful. It's just about working. I think you can just delete the pylon straight away, because this one does reach this far. And that was kind of the issue that I was having, is that this won't get power unless, because this one doesn't reach. It's this one that powers it, and this needs to... This is just about now in the construction planner, so of this, which is why they're ever so slightly, you know, they're not aligned to all the other ones. You can see that they're indented by one, and they're now not connected to this one or this one, but that's not a huge problem. Everything else is still powered. It's just this is how it needs to be, so that it is going to be built by this one over here, so that you can then just chain them along. So that was fine. I don't know why I belaboured that task so much. Alright, let's also add the others now that... Oh, there's water. There's water everywhere. I need to put some landfill requests down as well. It's crazy. You can add landfill to a blueprint, and I probably should do that, and just have a blueprinted version of the solar grid that's also on land. Anyway, so now I can add this one. Big electric pole is in the way. Where? Where is there a big electric pole that I haven't deconstructed? This one. Oh, I need to deconstruct them all anyway, don't I? Alright, fine, screw that, I'll come back to that later. Don't get distracted. Just put some rocket fuel into a chest, like this. Logistics filter that. So now the logistics robots are coming over because they know that there's some available now, and they're taking them to these white squares. They're taking them to where I have asked it to deposit. Oh, you know where they're going? They're going to the flipping test one that I put down and copy and pasted everywhere. Because the other ones aren't actually built, because all my construction robots are busy. 10. I mean, you want to do this with nuclear fuel is the end goal, because the rocket fuel has a fuel value of 100, with fuel acceleration 180%, vehicle top speed 115, and the nuclear fuel is better in every way. It is 1.21 gigajoules, so it's 10 times better than rocket fuel. It doesn't change the vehicle top speed, but it has much better vehicle acceleration. But that involves having nuclear processing set up, which we've not done. And now that we've got rocket fuel, we may as well use it just to make our trains not run out of fuel. Did I do this one in the end? I did, but I'm still just waiting on a few construction robots. They're just about coming back now. You can see I've got 1,000 construction robots ready to go. So, and there we go. There are logistics robots coming up now, filling this. The train will have to not run out of fuel, but each train has 3 slots for fuel. So it won't put the rocket fuel in until one of those slots is empty. We don't need to research anything else. We can win the game from this position. So, and I would like to build Spidertrons. But I'm going to hold off on the science for now because resources are tight. And if I can get some other things done and leave other things backing up in that time, that would be good. Oil is definitely the priority now. That has to be sorted. It's completely... I mean, light oil is backing up, which is nice, but that'll be because rocket fuel is backing up now. Once light oil is backed up, the petroleum should start flowing again, which would let plastic and then therefore red circuits start going again. But that's obviously not a long-term solution. Once we kick science off again, and especially once we start launching rockets, it's gonna be horrendous. So we do need to fix that, and I think I'm going to have to just do coal liquefaction here and just bring in petroleum directly and let this just be doing light oil, basically. Any excess light oil can also be turned to petroleum here, but I'll just bring in another train somehow. I'll just have to bring in another train. God knows where. I mean, maybe it's time to move all of these stations to where they actually need to be. Although this is fine, it's just because all of my copper is coming from here, because this is still 9.1 million. It's still got a ways to go yet. I don't know. It's going to need some high-level planning. But that's fun. That's what we like. That's what we love to see. This landfill has kicked off again because I actually went to go and empty it a moment ago. Not a moment ago. A moment ago for you. About 10 hours ago for me. Because I'm not playing. Obviously, I'm not. If I did everything on camera, this series would already be. I mean, if I save the game now and have a look, 49 hours. This is only episode 29, so I've done about 2/3 of it on stream. But you know, there's a lot of stuff that I just left the computer and just went, nope, I'll leave that. And like just when I was upgrading red belts, or especially those that time where I had to move the entire base over by one tile. That was fun. Look at all this solar power, isn't it great? That didn't even take that long. And there's still 1,700 accumulators and not as many solar panels, but you know. So a small build like this has done wonders, really. It's sorted. We can in fact put the next ones down. What is this? Oh, it's still loads of rail that needs moving around. Okay, remove these power poles, these power poles. Put the last 2 solar grids in. Why isn't that one going? specifically click and drag it across. Right, and then this is probably going to take longer than everything else I just deconstructed. So I will start that, actually. I will just start with a cheeky little deconstruction planner for this bit as well, up to the edges. Nah, it's not that much, actually. And we'll just keep making progress. Red circuits is a very sad situation currently, but you know, this is the game of Factorio. Spinning plates. It's spinning plates the game. You build one thing, it causes a knock-on effect down the line, which means you need to readjust it. And due to the nature of how the game functions and the research, you can't possibly expect to scale things up to your end game position early on, especially because modules and beacons are so important in the late game designs, and I'd really like to start getting modules built on a higher scale, but they need an obscene amount of green, red and blue circuits, so it's kind of a chicken and egg scenario. You'd like to get more modules to increase your productivity, but you need more red circuits, and I could get more red circuits if I had modules, but you know. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment, and if you want to see more Factorio Overexplained, be sure to subscribe. And as always, if you've got any questions, I'll answer them in the next episode. I'm caught up now. I had a busy weekend, which is why I had to record 2 episodes before the weekend. Today's Thursday, and this episode goes live on Thursday, in fact. It's 11:30 for me now, so I hope you're having a good day. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.